Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Hello, everybody. Today's a fun day at AFC as we release the AFC Tour Managers schedule. My name is Will Reese, and I'm excited to join you as we unveil several spectacular tours guided by some of your favorites. We have so many trips to offer and more tour assignments to go. So as these trips fill up, look out for the updates to the Tour Manager schedule on our website at afcvacations.com. I'll be covering both domestic and international trips today, with a narrow focus on about 16 to 20 tours and cruises. So these tours are some of our tour managers' favorites, so jump on board and sign up today. We have show specials available with the savings code Tour Manager, so make sure when making your reservations to mention the code for reduced deposits and more. So we offer at AFC Vacations worldwide tours and cruises with a number of varying travel styles. So whether it's a European river cruise, a tour of the national parks, or a train tour, we cover them all. That includes a variety of ocean cruises to choose from. And one of our specialties are our one hotel stays. So these are some of the most popular trips we offer and allow you to unpack once and settle into one hotel for your entire trip. Now we offer inclusive and honest pricing. Our prices include round-trip air by gateway, home pickup, or a credit if you wish to make your own arrangements to the airport. Our tour managers are an unbelievable group of people who are helpful, organized, and extremely knowledgeable about the destinations. They care about you as our traveler, and they go above and beyond to take care of your needs on tour. The hotels, activities, and dining that we provide on tour give you a great taste of local life. We have meals that introduce you to the regional specialties of the area and incorporate cultural events and activities with many of our dinners. The hotels we use are well located and comfortable, and the included sightseeing make our trips memorable with guided commentary along the way. Now, we have a couple of different guarantees. One of the items we introduced a year or two ago is our guaranteed pricing. So once you deposit on your tour, once your deposit is paid, your price is locked in. So even as fuel prices change for motor coaches and river cruise ships, that doesn't get passed on to you. So once you put your deposit down, your price is secured. We also have guaranteed departures. So when you see the GD symbol in the brochure and on the show, that means we have enough passengers on that departure to run. And as we move closer to 2025, you'll see more of these programs going to guaranteed status. Now, one of the key pieces of what makes AFC Vacations so special is really coming down to our excellent team of real people handling all of the aspects of your program here in San Diego. Our staff has a wealth of knowledge and expertise with over 140 years of travel experience combined. And we look forward to assisting you to make travel easy. We include round-trip air on all of our tours from many different airports that you can see in our brochure. And we also offer low-cost travel insurance with a cancel for any reason benefit. So that provides a great security as you move closer to your tour. We're also part of the USTOA, that's the United States Tour Operators Association, covering a great benefit, which is a $1 million traveler's assistance program. So if for any reason something were to happen to the company, you're covered under USTOA. So we're a select member of about 50 tour operators nationwide, and that's a great security for you as a traveler. Now, one of the ways we make travel easier is by providing a round-trip home pickup service. We pick you up at your door, take you to the airport, and bring you home from your trip at the end. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of getting to and from the airport. And we also offer a $100 credit if you do make your own arrangements to and from the airport. So with the growth of Uber and Lyft and all the other options, we found that more and more people are asking about that method instead. And that means if you choose not to take our home pickup, we'll reduce your final payment by $100 per person. So that can be a great savings to you, especially if you share rides with your travel companions. Now, there are a number of other AFC advantages that I could talk about, but here are three that are really important. One is our Travelers Club, and that's a loyalty program that we introduced. So once you book a 2024 or 2025 tour or European river cruise and book a second within 18 months, you're automatically included in that Travelers Club, and we'll reduce your second trip by $100. So book one tour and then a second within 18 months, and that second trip will be $100 off. We're also a word of mouth company. So we started as a very, very small boutique in San Diego. And with people telling their friends and family all about what we do and their fun and excitement on their trips, the word has spread, and we now have travelers all over the United States. So we offer a refer a friend credit. If you tell a friend or family member about our trip and they travel with us, your next trip is $100 off once they have taken that tour with us. So that's a great and easy way to save and get people to travel with you. Then we also have our early booking savings, and these are good up to about 40 people per trip. So the first 20 clients to book on a tour receive $100 off and up to $200 on our European river cruises. And the 21st through 40th traveler save a slight difference, a little bit lower, but still a good savings as well. You would just need to make your final payment by check. So great ways to save, especially booking early. You can save the most amount of money by doing so. Getting into our tour manager schedule. Now, we have a fantastic group of tour managers, not just the ones you'll see here, but also additional ones that travel and just don't want to be have their name out there. But these tour managers have been working with us for several years, many of them over a decade and more. But we have Mark Jacobson with us for this year. And as we go throughout the year, we'll add more and more to each of the tour managers' schedules, so keep an eye on that. But so far, for 2025, we've gotten his first quarter set up. So we have him on the February 20th sunny San Diego and Southern California highlights. It's great for locals in California if you want to stay close to home. It's a great option to get out and explore a little bit. Then we also have him on the April 1st Normandy, Paris, and Seine River Cruise. And that is a spectacular trip, taking you out and about into France, especially having just done the Olympics. Things will start to quiet down a little bit over there and make for some great travel opportunities. And then our San Antonio Fiesta, which I'll also talk about today. It's a great program, a one hotel stay later in the month of April. Pat Conway's been working with us for many, many years and does a fantastic job out on the road as well. And he's got a great lineup of trips coming out. He's going over to Hawaii early in the year with February 18th and March 18th, taking two great trips going to the Hawaiian Islands. Then some of his favorite tours are going out to Niagara Falls and the Grand Hotel in Mackinac Island, as well as the best of Chicago. He spent a number of years out in that area and absolutely loves it. And then a great balance of events as well as natural beauty is our Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. And we have two departure dates for that, October 3rd and October 10th. And he's done that for a number of years and really enjoys it. Then our December 3rd Santa Fe Holiday Tour. And we'll release our holiday schedule later on in the year, but that's a great one for 2025 is the Santa Fe Holiday. Deb Howard's been working with us for a number of years as well, and we've incorporated her more and more on our river cruises. We start out with a couple of great mystery tours, and those are some of our most popular trips. So she'll run the February 22nd and March 16th mystery tours. And then she heads over to Europe and gets to run the Holland Windmills and Rhine River Castles. And that's a great combo of a couple of different programs, but gets to do the tulips in the peak season in the Netherlands. And then April 27th, she'll be on the Nashville Smoky Mountains and Bluegrass Tour. And that's a wonderful opportunity to get out to the east. Nashville, as a big city, has so much to offer. I'll go in depth on that. And then the Niagara Falls and Grand Hotel as well. It's a fun trip, one of our most popular ones, especially in the Midwest. And she loves running those. So we'll do 3 programs with her on that with June 5th, June 13th, and September 19th. And then a brand new tour for us this year is our West Virginia Rails in Williamsburg. So West Virginia is a little known, little discovered place, but a beautiful area as well. So the October 9th departure is what she'll be working on. And then she'll also be on 2 river cruises at the end of the year going over to Europe. One is the October 28th Burgundy and Provence River Cruise, and this is a spectacular trip. So is our December 3rd Switzerland and Christmas Markets of the Rhine. So great holiday program, getting over to the Rhine again during the Christmas time. Chris McCool's accepted a number of great programs as well. He'll be running our April 1st Holland Windmills, and that works its way from Amsterdam down to Basel. And we do have an extension on that program to Lucerne at the end. And then he's accepted a number of great mystery tours, our April 24th and June 22nd trips. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise. Then he'll be on July 22nd, Alpine Swiss Villages. And that is a program he developed and created and does a great job showing folks the beauty and the amazing sights throughout Switzerland. He'll be on the August 17th Mystery Tour as well, and then works his way on the September 25th West Virginia Rails in Williamsburg trip. So that's going to be a fantastic program, especially during the fall with the fall colors changing. Our October 21st, 2025 Normandy, Paris, and Seine River Cruise, another fantastic opportunity to get to see that beautiful river, mixing art, culture, and great American history into France. And then November 6th, Kenya Safari. Chris absolutely loves getting over to Africa and teaching people all about the animals as well as the sights. So this is a wonderful program, about 13 days, and highlights some of the great animals throughout Africa. Then our December 10th Vienna and Christmas Markets cruise, he'll be working with Larry on that. And that's a beautiful program running its way from Frankfurt down to Vienna. So great schedules all around. We're happy to release those and get those started for the year. And as we go through our programs, I'll talk in more depth about each one. But each of these tour managers are really excited about the year, and there's a lot coming up that we'll have to add. First and foremost are our mystery vacations. So we still have a few dates left in 2024 with Deb and Pat running those programs in October through December. And then the first half of the year has been released for our mystery tour dates. And that starts out with February 22nd and Deb Howard. Now, these are great 5-day programs. They run for about $22.99 and cover 7 meals. So generally all breakfasts and then a couple of dinners. So as we work our way through this lineup, we also get Chris on the April 24th mystery tour, as well as June and August. And we still haven't released the May departures tour manager, so we look forward to doing that as well. But these trips are a huge success and sell out nearly every single trip. And we have over 60 mystery tour destinations. And these are fun-filled activities that our staff here is available to help pick the right date for you. So even if you've been on mystery tours with us, just let our staff know where you want to go or where you want to avoid, and they can direct you to the right date. But we've gone to some destinations like Minneapolis, Tampa, Birmingham, and all sorts of fun areas. So how they work is when you book, you'll be advised how to pack, the average weather in the destination, and some helpful hints. Then about 3 weeks prior, you'll receive your packet, and that has the information you need with flight times and what time your pickup will be. And each step of the way is a great mystery. A lot of the information is in your tour packet, but they have little tabs on there that say keep closed if you don't want to spoil the surprise. Once you check in, you'll get your boarding pass and find out where your first destination is. And then the tour manager will meet you in baggage claim on arrival. And over the course, they'll unveil and reveal different tour components or give clues along the way. So these are fantastic programs. Getting into some of our international trips, Alpine Swiss Villages is a program that Chris McCool created. So he's happy to be back on that in July and September. So July 22nd and September 9th are fantastic departure dates and beautiful times to be in Switzerland. Generally fairly good weather and nice stretches getting out on Lake Brienz and much more. So this unique itinerary focuses on the smaller villages in Switzerland and away from the big cities. So you can see how the Swiss truly live close to their original customs. We start in Zurich on arrival and stop in Bern to visit the city and the famous clock. Then it's off to the Lauterbrunnen Valley, and that's where we take the Conway to Wengen. And this is a small Swiss village in the Alps. We stay 6 nights in this beautiful town with incredible views of the valley and surrounding mountains. We include a Berner Oberland Pass, and this allows travel around the country by rail all over Switzerland. So with the Swiss transportation system being so fluid and organized, we utilize trains, Conway, and different rail to travel each day. So this is unlike any other tour. But we work our way up to Grindelwald and sitting at the base of the Eiger Mountain, which is a peak in the Alps for the strongest mountain climbers. It's famous for its stunning scenery of the surrounding mountains, a big variety of outdoor activities in all seasons, and as well some great shopping. We also enjoy a lake cruise, as I mentioned before, on Lake Brienz, and take the express train for time in Interlaken. So this is a highlight trip for many who travel with AFC. And great shot of Wengen, looking down over the valley and the surrounding mountains. Just a spectacular view and a wonderful area to explore. Our next trip is Kenya Safari, and this bucket list trip hits so many incredible points and provides the opportunity to see the big five animals on several different safari experiences. We'll fly round trip into Nairobi and journey with a local guide on different excursions. So this 13-day trip includes 10 game drives and a chance to visit the Jane Goodall Chimpanzee Sanctuary. We add the Giraffe Center on the outskirts of Nairobi and dine at the Carnivore Restaurant with some staples as well as African specialties. While it's called Carnivore Restaurant, they also cater to vegetarians. The Amboseli National Park sits below Mount Kilimanjaro, and from this park you can see leopard, cheetah, buffalo, elephant, and so many other unique species. And we stay at some incredible lodges along the way, including the Lake Nakuru Lodge in another national park. The Masai Mara Game Reserve is another incredible site that we do with its golden African plains. And that's where you can see rhinos, lions, elephants, and leopards. And more than 40% of Africa's larger mammals can be found in this area. So this trip is magical and well worth the journey. Getting into our river cruises, we'll start with the Holland Tulips and Rhine River cruises. And this is an exciting blend of the best of two itineraries into one. So let me share with you some of the highlights that we're offering. We sail on the Amadeus Cara and the Amadeus Star, which are brand new ships to the fleet. They're stunning in style and activity and very, very comfortable. There are a few ways to see the sights in Amsterdam, and being on a bus is not one of them. So it's a city with canals and bicycles and charming alleyways. We'll enjoy exploring the sights in a canal boat with commentary about each of the areas we see. And our boat ride will take us through the intricate canals under many bridges, and you'll get up-close looks at the charming architecture of that city. An afternoon excursion will take us into the country to the famous village of Zanziskans. And here there are historic windmills and distinctive green wooden houses, which were relocated here to recreate the look of an 18th century village. You'll see wooden clog carving and barrel making. There's a nearby cheese factory and the tempting smells of a nearby bakery. So in the spring, we'll visit the world's second largest flower gardens with 7 million bulbs planted annually. It's called the Garden of Europe or Kuchenhof Gardens. And we have timed our spring cruises perfectly to fit these amazing tulips and landscape. While the tulips are laid to rest after spring, our October departure includes something unique as well, and that is Volendam and Edam. So during the spring, that's an optional tour. We include it during the fall. We replace the tulips with a beautiful harbor town called Volendam, and that's where you can learn about the many floods the area saw in the early days and why the canals and dams and other structures were put into place to keep the sea at bay. The harbor has classic sailing vessels and wonderful shops and restaurants to visit. We'll also venture to a cheese tasting where you can enjoy a local specialty known as Edam cheese. And then we work our way down to Koblenz, and that sits at the junction of the Rhine River and the Moselle River. And it was founded in 9 BCE as a Roman town. It's one of Germany's oldest and most beautiful cities. Then we're off along the stretch of the beautiful Rhine River castles that make this area so spectacular. So one of the most recognizable aspects of the cruise is the stretch of the Rhine where the castles are on either side of us as we sail. So from Koblenz to Mainz, we enjoy the many hillside castles and towers that have stood for centuries. The cruise director gives commentary on the different points of reference, and it's always fun to spend time on deck and pass these great features with a glass of wine or some good beverage in hand. Then it's off to Strasbourg, and this lies at the border of France and Germany. It's a blend of cultures and experience where you can enjoy the major cathedral on our walking tour of the city, as well as many of the half-timbered homes and shops. Then it's off to Basel, and that is the end point of the cruise. We also offer a 2-night extension to Lucerne, and this is one of my favorite cities in all of Switzerland. It sits right on the edge of the lake with the Chapel Bridge, just a stunning stretch. So going out March 26th with Deb, sails from Basel to Amsterdam, so south to north. April 1st with Chris McCool, works its way from north to south. So 2 different directions, but you get to see the same sights on all of them. And then our October 12th replaces the tulips with that great Volendam experience. So 9-day program, 20 meals incorporated. And these are some great meals aboard the ship. You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner on board, as well as snack time in the afternoon. So you can never really go hungry on that program. But it's a great way to see Europe. And I'll continue into some of our next highlights, and that is the Keukenhof Garden. And so beautiful stretch of tulips and flowers and incredible landscaping surrounded by water. They have a little petting zoo there, as well as an area you can buy bulbs. So just a beautiful stretch. Our next program is our Burgundy and Provence River Cruise. And traveling on the Rhone in France is an unmatched experience. It's one of the most memorable cruises on any rivers I've been on. And this trip features 7 nights aboard the Amadeus Provence, which was built in 2017 and holds less than 140 passengers. So that's one of the great benefits of cruising on these rivers in Europe. Less passengers, more intimate experience. And so when you look at the cruise experience on ocean versus rivers, those ocean cruises have about 12,000 passengers. These ones have about 140. So much, much different. There are only about 8 suites available on board, and these are the first category that do get booked out on any of the cruises. And they're much more spacious, as well as the balcony doors allow for open-air journey along the spectacular river. And then we include round-trip air in and out of Lyon, and that makes for a very convenient travel experience. As with all of our cruises, we have free wine, beer, and soft drinks included with our dinners, as well as free Wi-Fi. On board, you have the River Terrace and the Amadeus Club, which is a wonderful area indoors to enjoy a book or chat with friends. And then our first port of call on this from Lyon is working its way up to Macon. And this is a hub for the stunning vineyards of the Burgundy region. So sitting right on the bank of the Rhone, Macon has a beautiful layout, which is flat and easy to get around. Very historic buildings, many park areas, and a great museum. So just some of the many points in the city. And you'll have the afternoon at leisure after we visit a great, fantastic wine museum. So the morning excursion is to the Mâconnais region of Burgundy, and it's one of the most famous regions in France for wine. So Burgundy is home to both reds and whites. The northern part near Dijon produces more reds, while the southern portion produces more whites. But they swap grapes and produce it all in each of the areas. And we include an excursion through the vineyards to a wine museum and tasting experience. So you'll get a chance to enjoy some Burgundy wine. That afternoon, as I mentioned, is free to explore Macon or relax on board the ship after a long travel day. Then our next stop is the beautiful French city of Beaune. And our city tour of the walled town includes a visit to the Hôtel Dieu, and that was built in 1443, pictured in the upper left. Its polychrome roof and Gothic architecture are unmatched, and it was built as a hospital for the poor in a period just after the plague. So you'll tour the entire facility with its master artworks, nearby vineyards, and specialty architecture, and it really does make that visit memorable. After the tour, we also incorporate a wine tasting in that region and get to try some of the local product. Our city tour of Lyon takes us to the Roman Catholic Church up on the hill, and that overlooks the river. And that construction for the cathedral took over 300 years. We also see Old Town Lyon, and that's one of my favorite parts of the area. Paved old streets and colorful facades of houses dating back to the Renaissance. So it's really beautiful and quite diverse. So a mix of Italian, French, and many other cultures. We make our way south on the river, heading to Avignon, otherwise known as the City of the Popes. And that's where about 7 popes lived during the 14th century. We include the Bridge of Avignon as well as the Palace of the Popes with a guided walking tour, and we are docked generally right in town, so it's easy to explore. As we work our way, we follow the next day with Arles, and this is a gem, just a true fun town. One of the exciting aspects of it is the beautiful Roman amphitheater that rivals the Colosseum. So this is an outstanding site to visit, and we go inside to see it all on our walking tour. Then the final day aboard, you can choose to relax and enjoy the river cruising or take an optional tour to the Ardèche Gorge, and that's one of the most majestic views in all the world. You can choose to extend your journey for a 2-night optional to Paris, and that's where we take a high-speed train from Lyon to Paris and enjoy a city tour with the sights of Notre Dame. Hopefully it should be ready to go. I know during the Olympics they weren't quite finished yet. The Louvre and the Eiffel Tower, and we make stops along the way. You'll have an afternoon at leisure, get a chance to go explore some of the museums, whether it's the Louvre or the Musée d'Orsay, or walk along the Champs-Élysées, the famous shopping street. And this cruise takes off October 28th of next year with Deb Howard. Normandy, Paris, and the Seine River Cruise is a great European river cruise journey. It's a unique experience that does hit home for Americans as we do travel to the Normandy beaches and the D-Day sites. So we have 2 departure dates in 2025. April 1st only has a handful of cabins available still. So make sure if you're interested in the springtime, you jump on that as soon as possible. And then October 21st is available as well. So Mark Jacobson will be going on the April 1st departure. Chris McCool will be taking out the October 21st with Larry, I believe. And so that's a wonderful journey, taking you to some of the most amazing parts of France. The cruise and touring combines this great American history in Europe from World War II with some of the small villages of Normandy, and then some of the big cities like Rouen and Paris. Then we fly round trip into Paris to start this program. The City of Lights is magical on the Seine River. And that day we board the Amadeus Diamond and make our way out to the coast. So we'll stop in the gorgeous city of Rouen, home to the beautiful architecture and the story of Joan of Arc. From there we make our way to Étretat, which is the northwest coast of France. And that has beautiful archways that stretch over the Atlantic Ocean as pictured in the upper right-hand corner. The full-day sightseeing of the D-Day beaches provides an in-depth look at what the Allies worked through to kick out tyranny in the continent of Europe. And we stop at Pont du Hoc, the American Cemetery, Omaha Beach, and a visit to one of the D-Day museums there as well. On that cruise, we have some great art components as we see the town that inspired Vincent van Gogh, as well as going to the home of Monet. So we come back to Paris at the end for a city tour and fabulous welcome and farewell dinners aboard. So wonderful program. As we make our way through, I'll get a chance to show you a quick clip of the journey. Now, we offer a extension to London on this program as well. It's a 2-night extension, takes you off and over into that beautiful city by train. We'll do a city tour in London on that trip. And then as we move throughout the year, a couple of our great holiday programs. One is our Switzerland and Christmas markets on the Rhine, and that is December 3rd of 2025. We may still have a cabin, or you might be able to wait list for 2024 if you're still trying to go. But that's another great program that we offer. And this is one of the best times to be in Europe just before the holiday season, where you can get all your holiday shopping out of the way at the markets of Europe. And this cruise sails on the MS Silver 2. We fly into Zurich, Switzerland, and make our way to Lucerne for one night. And we enjoy a guided walking tour of the Chapel Bridge and Old Town Lucerne. And then some time at the Christmas markets to finish that up. And our ship meets us, our ship meets us in Strasbourg and has had an identity crisis for hundreds of years. With each war, it changes back and forth between German and French hands. So this is an amazing city with its Notre Dame Cathedral and fun holiday decorations, which bring to life the spirit of the holidays. We enjoy a walking tour here, as well as time to explore the markets all over town. On our way north, we stop in the small town of Speyer in Germany and learn about its Celtic settlement in 100 BC. And that's also home to a stunning Romanesque cathedral founded in 1030. The next stop we make is Rudesheim. That's where you have the choice of wandering around and at your own pace, or joining an optional to the musical museum. And this afternoon, we sail through the Rhine River Gorge and along some of those amazing German castles. We enjoy a walking tour of Koblenz and time at the market at night. And one of the biggest highlights is the small town of Kokum. And that's where we'll do a walking tour with the Reichsburg Castle up on the hillside. We also include a wine tasting in Kokum, and that sits on the Moselle River, so it's an offshoot of the Rhine. And this is home to some amazing German Riesling and Pinot Noir. We wrap up this cruise with a stop in Cologne, home to the most famous cathedral in all of Germany, and it took about 6 centuries to complete that masterpiece. Cologne was originally a fish trading port, and you'll see some of the historic fish fountains in Old Town in Cologne. We finished in front of the cathedral for an afternoon at leisure and plenty of time for the Christmas markets there. And you also have a chance to see any of the great museums in town, like the Museum Ludwig or Chocolate Museum. Our last activity together is a delicious farewell dinner with a great finale. So this one takes off in December of next year, and it's a 9-day program. Here's a couple of quick sights from Lucerne. Just a beautiful time of year to go and experience Swiss tradition, not only through the river and the lake itself, but also through the Christmas markets. Another great Christmas market cruise that we offer, and I believe we still have some cabins available for 2024 if you're still interested, just a couple, is our Vienna and Christmas markets of the Danube. We did this program just a couple of years ago where I was able to get out on the ship, and we start in Frankfurt, Germany. We fly in there for one night and get a chance to do the markets in Frankfurt, and then we drive to Rothenburg, and this is a medieval walled city, a great site and great walking tour that we incorporate with the market time there. And then down to Nuremberg, and that's where we board the ship, and that's the Amadeus Cara, built in 2022, so pretty new. And we board the ship as well as getting a full tour of Nuremberg, and that incorporates some of the sites of the Nazi Party during World War II, as well our time at the Christmas market in town. We work from there down to Regensburg, and Regensburg is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this is a great opportunity to see Old Town Regensburg and some of the amazing buildings surrounding it. From Regensburg, it's down to Passau, another small town on the river, beautiful little cathedral. But this is our hop-off point for an optional day trip down to Salzburg. And Salzburg, home of the Sound of Music, as well, amazing cathedral there and fun time at the Christmas markets in Salzburg. It's one of the largest stretches of markets in Salzburg there. You get a chance to see some of the gardens in Salzburg as well, and Mozart's home. So great features along that optional trip. And then we come back to Linz and board the ship and work our way down to Melk, M-E-L-K. And that is a location of a famous abbey dating back to about the 1700s. So we'll do the abbey tour as well as a Glühwein tasting, which is Warm red wine. It doesn't sound as appetizing as it actually is, but it's incorporated with all sorts of great spices for the holidays. And then our highlight, getting down into Vienna and the beautiful musical city of Vienna with its classical music. We'll do a tour there. As well, we have an optional tour to the Schönbrunn Palace at the end. So this one is December 10th of 2025 with Chris McCool. We also have one running this year as well, and I think there are a couple of spaces if you're still interested. And here are some of the markets in downtown Frankfurt. You can see the difference in architecture from the old town over to the modern city in the background. So just an interesting rebuild after all of the bombings of World War II. Continuing on to some of our regular programs, this is our San Antonio Fiesta, and April 25th we'll be working our way with Mark Jacobson. This is a fun program and a great Unpack Once tour where you'll stay 4 nights in San Antonio right near the Riverwalk. We include a welcome and farewell dinner, all of your breakfasts, and some exceptional sightseeing as well. So you'll head up to Austin, the state capital of Texas, and enjoy some time at the Lyndon B. Johnson Presidential Library and sites of the University of Texas and State Capitol building, also on that day. Then we work our way over to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center, and you'll enjoy a San Antonio city tour to learn about the Spanish and Mexican period in Texas. And we stop at the Mission San Jose before heading to an IMAX movie and experience to learn about the Alamo. Then head over to the actual Alamo across the street and explore the grounds on one of our country's most famous battle sites. Take a boat ride down the famous Paseo del Rio or Riverwalk, and that is the most popular attraction in Texas. Also, if you like to have a beverage, it's an open container policy. So the next day, we head out to the Hill Country, just north of San Antonio, to visit the LBJ Ranch, which was a working cattle ranch throughout his presidency. You'll see his home, where he had a TV in every room to make sure he stayed up on the latest stories on news. Then it's on to Fredericksburg for a stop to grab some lunch. Now, the LBJ Ranch is under construction at this time, so I did want to make mention of that. So we may not be going into the home until it's fully completed, but you will get a chance to see some of the sites around that area. And we see another great stretch in Fredericksburg, which is a German-style town. A lot of the German settlers moved into that area. And also visit the National Museum of the Pacific War. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there a World War II museum about the Pacific Ocean in Texas? Well, the main reason is that Admiral Nimitz of the U.S. Navy was actually born and raised in Fredericksburg. So they dedicated that museum to him. So wonderful opportunity to see this great area, as well as the River Parade. And that is the Texas Cavaliers Parade put on by the U.S. Army each and every year. So it's a wonderful float parade that we'll sit outside and get a chance to watch as they go by. Here are a couple of images of the Alamo. First, the exterior on the upper left corner, and then the interior of both the church as well as the grounds. And they do have reenactors on site telling people how they would refill their muskets and prepare for the battle. And that battle took place in 1836. Moving on with a brand new tour for us. This is West Virginia Rails and Williamsburg. And this great trip highlights some special attractions that many folks haven't done before. From firsthand experience, driving through West Virginia is a treat, especially in the fall as the colors change. And it's a very blue-collar, hardworking state with a lot of natural beauty and good people. We fly round trip into Washington, D.C., and that's where we spend the night and see the nation's monuments all lit up in the Illuminations tour. So you get a chance to see the Lincoln statue, the Lincoln Memorial, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial out on the water there. And then we also work our way over to the MLK and Franklin Delano Roosevelt monuments. Then it's off to John Denver's Country Roads of West Virginia, where we enjoy 2 unique train rides. First, it's the Potomac Eagle Scenic Rail, with its gorgeous refurbished train cars and views for miles. The cars are pulled by diesel engines, past pastures and farms dating back to the 1700s. You'll travel along the Potomac River Gorge's South Branch, which is home to American bald eagles. Then we stayed 2 nights in the town of Elkins with a hometown feel. It's an active town with Appalachian culture. And then next we journey on the new Tigert Flyer, and that's a wonderful train trip along the mountainside and past some pretty river stretches. It includes passage into a 1,500-foot deep canyon with steep, densely forested slopes and a high bridge over the rushing river. Historic Jamestown is the site of the first permanent English colony in North America, and today is an active archaeological site. So visitors can witness the moment of discovery with archaeologists working at the 1607 James Fort site. Still standing from the 1600s is the church tower, along with a beautiful memorial church built in 1907, and that commemorates the 300th anniversary of Jamestown. So a wonderful site to incorporate there, as well as Yorktown and the battlefield of the American Revolution. Our stay at the beautiful Greenbrier Resort, which was built in the late 1700s, is one of the United States' world-class properties. And so it's a great experience to enjoy there. And here's a clip to show you just a little bit about that area. First and foremost is Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. And this is a great site we get to tour, learn about his home, the Corps of Discovery, which is the group he sent out, Lewis and Clark, out to the west to explore. Then Jamestown, with not only the settlement, but also some traditional Native American canoe and the ships that landed. And here's a quick clip of the beautiful Greenbrier Resort.
A breath of fresh air for your home. The new Marico collection from Living Spaces brings the serenity and versatility of modern Scandinavian style.
Hi, I'm Eric Hastings, and today we're going to show you around one of the most spectacular resorts in the entire world. Welcome to the Greenbrier. Situated in the foothills of the Allegheny Mountains in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, the Greenbrier has upheld its reputation for impeccable service, hundreds of activities, and legendary mystique. One of the design elements you'll notice here at the Greenbrier is the celebration of American history. After all, the property opened in 1778, just 2 years after our nation declared its independence. Dignitaries, celebrities, heads of state, even sitting presidents have all stayed at the Greenbrier. As a matter of fact, this place is so rich with history, we've even got our own on-site historian. You can take a property tour, ask questions, or just gaze at the photographs. Passing time on your Greenbrier vacation is easy to do with hundreds of amenities, both indoors and out. Outdoors, you can hit the links, go swimming, learn the ancient art of falconry, go horseback riding, play tennis, or just stroll through the 6,500 acres of wide open space. No matter how much time you spend here, get out and get close to nature. Take a walk, take a hike, but be sure you go off-roading. The Greenbrier's off-road driving school is not about being in a boring classroom. Their instructors get you up close and personal with the terrain and then let you get behind the wheel. Exciting news at the Greenbrier, culinarily speaking. We've got some suggestions for you. Now, for breakfast, you can always have breakfast in bed. Our in-room service is phenomenal. If you want to head out, head down to the main dining room. You'll love the sausage gravy. For lunch, stop by Draper's. It's been completely renovated, and it's located right next to the casino club. For dinner, this is where it gets really interesting. Brand new restaurants, including Prime 44 West and Infusion, will tempt your taste buds. And for dessert, well, we've got so many options, there's too many to name. Try the Bunker Buster Sundae. It's delicious. While the Greenbrier does have unique amenities, the bunker is one of the most fascinating features of the property. It was constructed in the 1950s as a fallout shelter for the U.S. Congress in the event of a nuclear attack. This, my friends, is a 433-foot tunnel, and it's not every day you get to see a real 25-ton door. But here's a tip. This door is so well balanced, it can be operated by just one person. Apparently, I'm not the person. The bunker has since been decommissioned and declassified, and today you can take a tour. Oh, hello. As I'm sure you can imagine, the Greenbrier has an amazing spa. We're talking 40,000 square feet of just about anything you can imagine to pamper your every whim. In 2010, the Greenbrier made history with the inaugural PGA Tour event, the Greenbrier Classic. The pros were challenged on the old white course, but it was Stuart Appleby who won with a score of 59. Preparations are already underway for next year's event, and the old white course will be closed until then. But you can play like a pro on our other two signature courses, the Meadows and the Greenbrier. Sadly, we've come to the end of our overview video, but I hope you got my not-so-subtle point. You're just going to have to visit the Greenbrier to see it for yourself. You're going to love it. I'm Eric Hastings. Thank you for watching.
The next tour I'll talk about is our fantastic Nashville Smoky Mountains and Bluegrass, and that'll be with Deb Howard on April 27th. We also have September 21st and October 12th available. But we fly into Louisville, Kentucky, and stay 2 nights at either the Galt House or Brown Hotel. And we start the trip with a visit to the Mecca of horse racing at Churchill Downs. So you'll tour the Kentucky Derby Museum that preserves the legacy of the longest continuously running sporting event in the country. Our next visit takes us to the Louisville Slugger Museum to journey through the history of baseball and the bats that built the great game. You can't go to Kentucky without learning about bourbon, and nearly 90% of the world's bourbon is produced here because of the minerals in the water. So we head to the Evan Williams Distillery for a bourbon experience. And then the Ark Encounter features a full-size Noah's Ark built according to the dimensions given in the Bible. It's the largest timber frame structure in the world, and you'll see numerous exhibits on the living quarters and life on the Ark during our time there. We leave Louisville and head to Lexington. That's where we visit the Kentucky Horse Park and celebrating man's relationship with that majestic animal. Then the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is a scenic wilderness area covering 816 square miles, established in 1934 to protect a hardwood forest. It's home to some of the highest peaks in the Appalachian Mountains, and home to many species of animals like black bear, wild boar, and foxes. In 2021, it was the most visited national park with over 12 million visitors. We take you into the beautiful state of North Carolina and head to the Biltmore Estate, which was constructed in 1895, and it's a 250-room chateau with manicured gardens and grounds. Our last 2 days and nights are spent in the magical city of Nashville, and that's where we include the Country Music Hall of Fame as well as the Grand Ole Opry. There's so much about this place to love, especially if you're a fan of music. And on Broadway, the street is lined with music venues left and right called Music Row. So a wonderful tour heading its way out both in the spring and the fall. And here are just a couple of quick clips of the beautiful Smoky Mountains. And they're called so because of the fog that usually hovers over the mountain peaks, but beautiful colors nonetheless. And then the fantastic city of Nashville. So much rich history, whether it's Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, the traditions of not only country music, but also other styles. Working our way to the Midwest, we have our Best of Chicago program, and that's operated by Pat Conway, May 22nd. So this is a great Unpack Once tour based in the heart of Chicago at the Palmer House Hilton. So you'll spend 5 nights in the city and enjoy a city tour on day 2 that features the Willis Tower and Magnificent Mile, which is the premier commercial district of Chicago. On day 3, you'll take a tour to learn about the history of Chicago's gangsters of the 1920s and 30s, like Al Capone and John Dillinger. And that afternoon, you'll tour Wright's studio, where Frank Lloyd Wright lived and worked. You'll spend day 4 in Racine, Wisconsin, where you'll visit the research and admin buildings of S.C. Johnson Wax. And that factory produces Windex, Glade, and many other daily products. Afterwards, you see the Johnson family mansion, completed in 1939 by Frank Lloyd Wright. And then we also get a chance to tour Wrigley Field, which is home of the Chicago Cubs, and take an architectural tour of Chicago by River Cruise, and learn about some of the unique designs of the city's buildings before a free afternoon. So a wonderful program, both in the springtime as well as the fall, May 22nd and September 4th. And here is Frank Lloyd Wright's home and studio. Incredible architecture and design on the interior. So an absolutely stunning place to visit. Moving on, we go to Niagara Falls and the Grand Hotel. And we have both Pat and Deb operating this tour. Pat will be on the May 9th and the May 30th program. We also have May 16th available. June 5th and June 13th will be with Deb, as well as September 19th. And then we also have a September 12th and October 5th departure as well. So this program works its way from Dearborn, Michigan. We fly into Detroit and spend 2 nights in Dearborn, which is the hub of Henry Ford. And so you can never have enough time in Ford's museum. Starting with the River Rouge plant, we literally watch F-150s being made in front of our eyes. Those beautiful trucks are a fantastic experience to take in. And then Ford wanted to collect items of historical significance and items that portrayed the Industrial Revolution for his museum. So the museum collection contains the presidential limousine of John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln's chair from Ford's Theater, Thomas Edison's laboratory, and Wright Brothers' bicycle shop, as well as much, much more. Now, who wouldn't want to unwind, disconnect, and enjoy a peaceful island stay with no cars and being picked up by horse-drawn carriage and taken up to the hill to an imposing, lovely property for 2 nights? And that's where fine dining and dancing are at your disposal, both for dinner and breakfast. Not many people dancing for breakfast unless you're really hungry. Each room is decorated in a unique style, and its elegance is personified. And as we work our way, we tour the island by horse-drawn carriage. And when we leave the island, we go across the Mighty Mac Suspension Bridge and spend a night in the town of Frankenmuth with its Bavarian-style village. When it comes to Niagara Falls, we don't just see the falls. We get the chance to experience it in all its glory. And we work our way to the IMAX presentation. We go behind the falls, and we don rain ponchos. We take a boat right up to the base of the falls and hear the power of the falls. This tour goes to the Canadian side of Niagara, so make sure you bring your passports. And it's a fantastic trip, 8 days, 7 nights, working its way through Michigan and out to Niagara. And generally we'll fly home from either Buffalo or Toronto. So great program. Altogether, one of our most popular trips that we offer. And here are just a couple of images of Mackinac Island with the Grand Hotel on the left-hand side. Beautiful flowers during the springtime especially. And then our horse-drawn carriage tour past some beautiful homes and the waters of the island. Sunny San Diego is a great Unpack Once tour centered in America's finest city. This trip hits some fun-filled tour components with a visit to the U.S. Midway and a San Diego harbor cruise. Work our way towards Coronado Island. We'll enjoy dinner in Old Town San Diego, as well as some days' adventures to the outer areas of Southern California. You'll take the train to San Juan Capistrano and see the historic mission known for the doves. Then we make our way out to the famous Palm Springs for a city tour and stop in Temecula, which is wine country. And that's where we include a great wine tasting experience. We include the San Diego Zoo and much, much more on this 5-night, 6-day trip. And we have Mark Jacobson taking out the February 20th departure. We also have March 14th, October 19th, and November 6th available as well. Then last but not least is our wonderful Hawaiian Islands adventure. Hawaii 3 Islands Adventure, and we have Pat running the February 18th and March 18th trip. Those are both guaranteed departures. We still have January 21st and November 4th available too. And on this trip, there's so many things to love when it comes to a trip to the Hawaiian Islands. Our tour features 3 main islands visited with Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island. It's a 9-day program with some incredible sights. So we arrive on Oahu and stay right near Waikiki Beach in Honolulu. And that's where we stay 3 nights. The following day, you'll visit Pearl Harbor and learn about the events that took place on December 7th, 1941. Then we'll board a skiff, a Navy skiff, out to the side of the USS Arizona. From there, you'll set off on a Honolulu city tour, including Punch Bowl Crater, the state capitol, and Governor's Mansion. And you can choose a day off at Waikiki Beach or take a Circle Island tour to see the Dole Pineapple Plantation, North Shore, as well as some other stunning sights. We head to the Big Island of Hawaii, and you'll visit Volcanoes National Park as well as Black Sand Volcanic Beach. And the sand there is made of pitch black fragments of cooled volcanic lava. Check into your resort on the Kona coast and settle in for a 2-night stay. And we travel to historic Kailua Kona for dinner, included that night, and try a local beer or some famous Kona coffee. We enjoy the following day on your own and enjoy a whale watching excursion on Maui. We fly to Maui, where you'll travel through the Iowa Valley and see some of the luscious parts of the island. We stay right outside of Lahaina, so we're not in Lahaina, for a 3-night stay. And in the morning, we head up above the clouds to Haleakala Crater for stunning views of the once formidable volcano. And our farewell is a true Hawaiian luau with dances that teach the story of Hawaiian and Polynesian culture, as well as that famous Kailua pork. So a wonderful trip, getting a chance to see the beautiful islands, as well as some of the history with our time at Pearl Harbor and the famous site of the USS Arizona. One last trip I wanted to cover is our New Mexico Balloon Fiesta, and this is a fantastic program going out October 3rd and October 10th of 2025. Both of those dates are guaranteed, and Pat Conway will be taking both trips. So we start out by flying into Albuquerque. We'll work our way up for 2 nights there, and this is where we get to see the most photographed event in the world, and that is the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. So we come out early in the morning for dawn patrol, getting to see the balloons rise up over the mountains as the sun rises, and then we come back in the evening for the balloon glow. So it's a great event to take in at night. The tour incorporates the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, Los Alamos Bradbury Science Museum as well, and that's where you can learn about the atomic bomb testing. And from Albuquerque, we head north to Santa Fe, and that's where we enjoy a city tour with the Laredo Chapel and drive the scenic high road to Taos, which includes a stop at Chamayo's El Santuario, which is a chapel dated back to the 1800s. Our time in Taos features a visit to the historic home of the Pueblo Indians, as well as the more modern part of Taos Plaza. And we incorporate a tour of the Taos Pueblo to learn about their heritage. So as I said, we have 2 departures, October 3rd and October 10th. And here are just a couple of quick images of the beautiful balloon fiesta, all the different colors and styles of balloons. I love that giant bee. It's always fun. As we wrap up, just a couple of points I wanted to go over again. Our AFC Travelers Club, the loyalty program, provides $100 off your second trip that you book with us within 18 months. So once you travel with us and book a second tour within 18 months, your next trip is $100 off. Our early booking savings can save you up to $200 on European river cruises and up to $100 off domestic and international tours by being one of the first 20 to book on a tour. You still save money as the 21st through 40th traveler, but you save the most being one of the first 20 to book. So that's a great way to save. Just pay your final payment by check as well for that to account. Our single supplement savings is a great advantage for single travelers. We take about 50% off the first 2 single travelers to book on many of our tours. So you can see that symbol in the bottom of each page for that single supplement savings. And then our refer a friend credit, as I mentioned earlier, $100 off for each person who travels with us that you refer. Make sure they use your name when they make their booking. And for the show specials, please use the code Tour Manager, which expires this Friday, August 16th. And if you book a 2025 tour or European river cruise, we reduce the deposit to $299 from the general $400 for domestic and $600 for international trips. But $299 low-cost deposit is a great way to save some money up front. You must pay for your travel protection with that deposit for that to count. And then we also offer a great discount on deposit for your second booking. So once you book your first tour and book your second at the same time, your second deposit will be $199. That incorporates tours and European river cruises. So great way to put less money up front and hold your space and your pricing on tour. And then our travel protection plan savings will take $20 off our travel protection plan when you pay for that with your deposit. Again, use the code Tour Manager by Friday, August 16th for those to apply. And how you can make your booking, you can call us at 1-800-369-3693. Email Joe, Holly, or April at afctours.com, or visit us on our website, afcvacations.com, in the forms segment. So great, easy ways to save. Just really appreciate your time joining us today. Great attendance on the show and a lot to cover, but really fantastic programs. And I know the tour managers are all excited to get back out on the road. We have a fun season coming up, finishing into the fall and into our winter season before we kick off 2025. So please keep an eye out if you're still interested in traveling with us this fall and winter. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.